Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 20th, and today we're going to take a look at this upper level low that's going to be spinning over the Pacific Northwest for the next couple of days, bringing a thunderstorm threat around the region here. Might be some very nice picturesque clouds, so get your cameras out as we get some bubbly cues all over the higher terrain, and some of these might try to move off onto the lowland, especially on Saturday. So we'll take a look at that in some detail before this pushes off to the east and allows us to warm up a bit on Sunday, looking like a pretty nice day across the region for Sunday. Take a look on into the extended as well and see if we're going to get back to normal temperature-wise, or even above normal, or if we're going to remain below normal into the extended. So checking things out across the rest of the country, there is a winter storm warning for portions of Colorado. There's going to be some severe weather out for the East Coast and portions of Michigan too. And we'll take a look at that briefly before we focus back on the Pacific Northwest here. So you can see that tornado watch out here for portions of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. Severe thunderstorm watches up also. You can see the frost and freeze warnings for the high plains up into the northern states there, North Dakota. And you can see that winter storm warning for portions of the Front Range there in the Rocky Mountains there of Colorado. The fire danger still exists for Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas, as well as the Central Valley there in California. So jumping right into things here, check this out. They were up into the 80s recently here in Denver, and they're going to be crashing back down to the 30s with some heavy snow around. They can use the moisture up there, and this is kind of the life of living on the Front Range there in Colorado here in springtime. Big swings in the weather. Really, this is one of the most dramatic places for weather swings on the planet. Now checking this out, you can see our thunderstorm risk here for the Pacific Northwest. You can see severe weather possible out there across portions of Pennsylvania towards New York City and Michigan there. There is even a tornado threat. And day two, you'll notice that thunderstorm threat hangs around the Pacific Northwest as this upper level low is going to continue to plague us here across the region. We might get some nice looking clouds though out of this and some nice sun breaks in between those showers before we warm up on Sunday. So checking things out here, here's the NAM 3KM. Look as we go through the day today how we destabilize the atmosphere. This is convective available potential energy. Kind of shows the difference between the surface temperatures and temperatures aloft and shows just how much energy is available to produce thunderstorms. You can see a lot of this cape exists over the North Cascades here in some of eastern Washington. And it's a little bit of western Washington. There is a chance there during the day today for a thunderstorm. And as we go through the day Saturday, check this out. We destabilize things even a little bit more on Saturday, especially for the Cascades. And some of these showers might even try to drift off of the mountains. We're going to have a unique flow with these where they're coming off from the east and the northeast. And I'll show you that here in some of the forecast Doppler radar loops here. This is the lightning potential here for the European. So we go through the day today, you'll notice this potential exists for mainly higher terrain of eastern Washington, the Cascades, into southern BC, Vancouver Island, maybe over the Limerick Mountains. Maybe we'll get a lightning strike there, but not so much for western Washington. Even though the SPC does include us, tomorrow is probably going to be the bigger threat Saturday. And you'll see that here as we go into Saturday. It kind of exists over the Puget Sound, mainly Portland northward. The higher terrain is highlighted here. So we go through the afternoon, you'll notice this lightning potential really all over eastern Washington, Idaho, into western Montana, northeast portions of Oregon as well. And as we go through the day Sunday, you'll notice this system kind of slide off to the east, and that's going to allow us to warm up. And we'll check out here in a minute just how warm we're going to get. So check this out. This is the NAM 3KM composite reflectivity forecast, and you can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere here, but let's look at Friday first. So here we go through Friday. And this is going into the afternoon hours. Showers are not going to be as widespread as they will be on Saturday so far, according to the forecast. You can see northeast Washington, some of the Cascades might get a thunderstorm or two, but generally not too much for western Washington, according to the NAM 3KM, or western Oregon. Now, if we go into Saturday, you can kind of see this upper level low spinning here, and you can see this showers and possible thunderstorms pop up over the Cascades, and they try to move out from the northeast a little bit here. A lot of them don't make it, but you can see some activity on the Olympic Peninsula there too, with maybe a little bit of upslope flow near Shelton, but you can see that spin in the atmosphere, which really would include the Oregon Cascades on Saturday as well as Idaho, eastern Washington. And then the system's going to slide off to the east Sunday. And again, we'll take a look at those temperatures for Sunday coming up here in a moment. But here's the HER. This is a 12Z that runs out 48 hours. You can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere here. And this is a little more robust tonight this afternoon, actually, I should say, with the showers here over the North Cascades. Could drop one down towards Bellingham or Vancouver during the day today. You can see some shower activity off the Olympic Mountains as well. You can kind of see that spin as it exists over eastern Washington. Now going through the day Saturday, you can really see that spin going here. And look at these showers pop up over the Cascades. And again, notice this motion. Look at this east, coming out of the east, going towards the west here. Very unusual. We usually get our stuff out of the west. So these showers might come off the Cascades here and maybe give a lightning strike down into western Washington or the Oregon Cascades on the day Saturday. As you can see, this upper level low just spinning here. And then finally it drops down towards the south and east and mainly Idaho on Sunday. Now here's the European here. It kind of highlights these showers popping up during the day today across the higher terrain, mainly interior BC and northeast Washington. And as we go through the day Saturday, you can see those showers pop up again on the Cascades, the Olympics, Idaho. Not giving too much of a signal here on the European, but those are thunderstorm potential there across much of the Cascades of Washington. And then you'll see as we go into Sunday, this activity starts to drop down to the southeast here. And a weak frontal system is going to be dissipating as it reaches the coastline Sunday night. We might get some high clouds from it, but we should get a nice day on Sunday. Now taking a look at the mean ridge and trough position there. There goes you can see the little wrinkles on the backside of this trough, and that's what's going to keep this cold air around and give us our thunderstorm chance tonight and into tomorrow. The trough is still kind of hanging out there before it starts to slide off to the east here, and that's what's going to allow our warm day on Sunday. So if you want to pick a day, the nicest day of the weekend is definitely going to be Sunday for western Washington, Oregon, and British Columbia. Now look, we built some ridging here, but then we get a little bit troughy again here as we go on into next week. This ridge tries to hold on, but it's going to try to throw some systems at us. And you can see as we go later into next week, a full-on system moves through, a couple of them, 2, 3, as another deep trough opens up over the Pacific Northwest on yesterday afternoon's European model here. So let's see what the GFS says and see if it agrees. Short term, you can kind of see that energy moving down the backside of the trough over the Pacific Northwest through Saturday, and then it kind of moves off across Idaho, Montana during the day Sunday, allows us to warm up a bit. And then you can see that troughing try to clip us again out of the north here as we go early next week as the ridge tries to hold on. It's a pretty good agreement through mid next week, and then you see the system start to slide through later on into the week. But this one, this is more progressive. The European was more progressive, moving these systems through the Pacific Northwest. And you can see the GFS kind of builds a trough down across the southwest here, going on into next week and a transient ridge before the Gulf of Alaska trough rebuilds here. So a little bit of disagreement in the extended, which is to be expected, but general pattern is for a renewed troughing on into later next week. Here's the Canadian, good agreement. Of course, you can see that energy kind of moved down the backside of it through Saturday, moves off to the east. And then we get a little bit, another shot of a trough coming down here early through the week. Ridging rebuilds a little bit as the Canadian really builds a deep trough and moves that through the Pacific Northwest. So Canadian, European, and GFS are not in good agreement with how next weekend storm system is going to develop yet. So we'll continue to watch that as we go through the days coming up here. We'll go into that a little bit more tomorrow. But check this out. Look at this Sunday. Highs up towards 70 for Seattle. We might get another nice day on Monday, too, up into the 60s. We'll have to see how that goes on here before we start to drop down our temperatures a little bit more as the troughing potentially returns through mid and later next week. But Saturday is probably not going to be a bad day either, especially if those showers do not materialize across the Puget Sound or across western Oregon into BC. You're going to see some nice sunshine during the day on Saturday as well, with it peaking on Sunday. Now here's Seattle-Tacoma International. This is yesterday. You can see fairly decent 3-day stretch here, maybe up towards normal, maybe 1 degree, or Sunday a couple degrees above normal, or maybe up towards 70 even, which would be more than 2-3 degrees above normal. But you can see the troughing potentially returning. And look at the extended, just has us below average on the European. As you saw on that model run, it had the systems moving through 1, 2, 3, and then dropping that deep trough over us. So we'll see which model's going to win this round, GFS versus Canadian versus Euro. Now this is Portland. Check out Sunday. Look at this, 70. And if this continues to trend this way, they're probably going to be into the low, even mid 70s on the day Sunday. So nice day on Sunday. Enjoy that before we potentially start to introduce some more systems early and then mid and later next week across Pacific Northwest. So yeah, get out there and enjoy those clouds the next couple of days. And some of those thunderstorms might be pretty picturesque, might be nice and photogenic across the higher terrain. So if you get a chance, get your cameras out and be ready for some of those clouds popping up here for the next couple of days and on into Sunday, actually, through Idaho. And then we warm up nicely Sunday. And then we'll try to bring a weak system in here early next week. But that's yet to be seen how that's going to develop, and then potentially deeper troughing as we go on to later next week. So hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.